All right, welcome back to the CAA video 2 of our evaluation series. And I think I need to cover a few basics here in terms of the existing workflows and some modifications you're very likely going to need based on just the typical way it works. And we're going to modify those and kind of show you here. I think we should be able to do it relatively easily. Now, and what I wanted to show is they have some samples here and they use the get method. So when they put these together, because of the get name of the block, the API was also named get. And what that requires, though, to do that is that you do everything on the header because gets are URL parameter based. So the problem with this is we can't put in the login information in JSON format that we need to pass into the node. So it won't get into the login node where we can pass the information. So it's just unfortunately not going to work the way we want it to work unless we do a couple of things. Now, if I pass this information on the get URL and I'm using Postman or some other procedure, you might want to go ahead and put in some basic auth in the header and do some other things here that you can pass to the calling application. That'll work, but that typically will not work, and I don't recommend that. So I'm going to recommend this, that change this to post, go back into your process, change this to post. Let's go ahead and deploy that. And let's go back to our Postman here and let's see and take this out. So we don't need to pass an auth here. We'll put it into our body. This will take out, we don't need this. And the post response we don't need. So here's the body. We should have the raw form. And this is basically what that workflow is expecting. So we're going to cover just the one here and do this quickly. So as we walk through the flow, let's see if we can get these aligned a little easier. We'll see here that first our input is IPC get subnet. Now I like to do this so that I can see it on the page because otherwise I don't know what this is. I don't know what the URL is that they're specified. It's going to hit in login node. The login node is username password. It's then going to do some things here which we're going to get rid of because I don't think we need that. We're going to go ahead and wire these two directly together and we're going to change this to credentials. We're going to hit submit. This then should call the get block and should call this here. Let's put a debug. Let's attach it to the catch node so we can catch any errors. Get block. Got it. Okay. Let's do full node. Let's deploy that. Now let's try calling this. I need to change this now to IPC get subnet. And we're going to pass the rest of it in. Now I got the details for this when I looked at the block, and if I go up here and look at the sidebar, the debug messages, this get block parameter requires an address, so I had to put the subnet address. If the container were a duplicate, you would need to specify the container, but you can read here about a relative path, leading slashes, and then the raw container I mentioned. Size of status, and that's what it looks for, and the status is even deployed by default. And so that, I think, should allow us to go ahead and try it. And yeah, we should have got our block there, so let's do that. And so we got our block. And now the block details here then are just a straight object. It's not an array because we only did a single block. So if you're doing one, you could do a get. If you're doing many, you would do an export. And that's how those two would work there. There's an ID so that if I needed to modify this block, I could keep everything intact, modify the parameters like description or status if I could to reserve or something else. And I could upload this and import it in a wrapper and it would modify it. So that's how that works. And then here, I don't know that won't let you do that there. So that's how that works, real simplified. And we'll go through some other flows, but note that you'll likely have to be and modify these to line up with using post. And so just to kind of caveat that, I think every one of these would likely be set up as post. And then you would use the input of the post payload to specify the parameters. So that was a real quick video. I just want to get that out of the way and clarify some of this, because as we go through all of these other videos coming up, we're going to be doing this for each one, modifying it, and kind of analyzing that result. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.